These are kefir grains. They're little polysaccharides of yeast and bacteria, and they're all beneficial for your gut. So welcome to this quick tutorial. You will need a sieve, knife, spoons. Optional is clean eggshells and citrus, ginger. You definitely need kefir grains, a clean bowl, scales, boiled water, raw sugar, molasses, blackstrap molasses, a funnel, and clean jars. That seems a little bit overwhelming to start with, but once you get the hang of it, you will have everything on hand most of the time. So this is kefir. This has been on my shelf for 2 days. You'll notice that there are little grains that float up and float back down again, and that means that it's healthy. It's doing what it's supposed to. I ferment mine with a seal, and it doesn't have to be sealed. You can do it without a seal and it will still work successfully. You just need it covered. So the first thing that I do is I take my kefir that has been on the bench for 2 days and I strain it so that I get out all of the grains and all of the other things that I've put in, and I've just got the kefir water in the bowl at the end of it. So I empty it out fully, and then I grab my scales. I put my empty jar onto the scales. I don't wash mine out. I wash it about once a month because I'm trying to keep those beneficial bacteria going and happy. So I don't actually want to introduce anything that wasn't produced by the kefir grains, if at all possible. So what I do with the grains and the eggshell that's left from the last ferment is that I pop it back into the jar. The jar I'm using is 3 litres, and so I actually put back into there 300 grams of kefir grains. When you do wash your jars, just make sure you don't use anything too harsh, like harsh detergents or have any residue of that. So when you do wash it, make sure you rinse it out really well. Make sure that you're not going to have anything that's residual that's actually going to affect your ferment, which is again why I don't wash it super regularly. I know one aspect of that does sound disgusting, but we are talking about a live thing that actually creates the environment that it wants once we put the right food in there. So I don't put into the new ferment any of the old fruit or ginger. I take them out and I actually replace them, which we'll see a little bit later. Some people do reuse their ginger, but I don't. So I put in raw sugar. So I put in 75% of my kefir grain. I don't use any of the fancy sugar. I just go for the cheapest option, and it's worked for me for quite a few years now. Pop in some lemon with the rind, not just the juice. Then I pop in some ginger. And the ginger actually gives it a great flavour. It not only helps the kefir grains work really well together, but it actually adds to the flavour at the end. I then put in some clean eggshells. Now, how I clean the eggshells is I actually boil them. So they're just eggshells from eggs that we've used. Then I put in about 1/8 of a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses. Now this is just to feed the kefir grains. It helps them stay healthy and strong. The eggshells, they actually help regulate the acidity so that we keep those grains healthy. Some people say to put in bicarb, but I don't do that because I just use what I've got, which is eggshells. Now I use boiled water, so the water has been boiled and then cooled, and that's to get rid of any bacteria that I might be introducing. So I fill that up and put that to the side, and then I make a really big mess right here, and I fill up jars. So they can be jars, they can be bottles, they can be whatever you like. Jars are cool because you actually can just grab a jar and drink out of it, hillbilly style. And that can actually be quite easy if you want to grab some on the go. So once you've put your kefir into the liquid, into the jars, what I then do is I grab a very small piece of apple. So the more fruit you put in, the sourer the drink will be, which is really hard to get your head around at the start. But it's a really small amount of apple that you pop in, and that will then flavor that whole drink. So after you've put that in, you pop the lids on and screw them down as tight as you can, and you put that on the bench for 1 day and then put it in the fridge. Once it's been in the fridge, once it is cooled down, it actually will be a sparkling, refreshing drink, as you can see here. So this hasn't got as much fizz as I'd like, but you can see once I pour it into the glass, there is fizz, there is bubbles. If your kefir stops creating bubbles, then it might be time to get new kefir grains. So it is a sign of it not being healthy. The fruit that's in there, as you can see, was only a small amount, is perfectly edible. So eat it, drink it, enjoy it. Your gut will thank you for it.